Hello everyone and welcome to today's Excel interview preparation session brought to you by Data Science with Harivansh. In this presentation, we are going to cover two very important and commonly asked Excel interview questions. The first question is about how to use the index and match functions together in Excel to perform lookups, and more importantly, when and why you would prefer this powerful combination over the widely known VLOOKUP function. The second question covers data validation in Excel, a feature that controls and restricts what users can enter into cells, ensuring clean, accurate, and consistent data. Both of these topics are regularly tested in data analyst, business analyst, and Excel proficiency interviews, so let's break them down completely and clearly. Let's begin with the first question. How do you use index and match together in Excel, and when would you prefer this combination over VLOOKUP? To answer this well, we need to first understand what each of these two functions does individually and then see how they work as a powerful team when combined together. The match function is a search function. Its job is to look through a range of cells and find the position, the row number or column number of a specific value within that range. For example, if you have a list of employee names in column A and you ask match to find the position of Rahul, it will return the number, say 3, telling you that Rahul is in the third row of that range. Match does not return the actual value itself. It only returns the position number. The third argument of match, which is 0 in our formula, tells is it to find an exact match, not an approximate one. The index match, the index function is a retrieval function. Its job is to go into a specified range and return the actual value at a given row or column position. So if you tell index to look in column B and return the value at position 3, it will give you whatever value is stored in the third cell of column B. For example, the salary of the employee in row 3. Now when you combine index and match together, they form a complete two-step lookup system. The formula structure is index, return range, match, lookup value, lookup range 0. What this formula does, it first run match to find the position of your lookup value within the lookup range and then immediately feed that position number into index, which uses it to retrieve the corresponding value from the return range. So in plain English, match finds the row and index fetches the value from that row. Together, they replicate and exceed the functionality of VLOOKUP. Now let's talk about why you would prefer index match over VLOOKUP. This is the part that really impresses interviewers. The first and most important advantage is that index match can perform left side lookups, which VLOOKUP simply cannot do. VLOOKUP can only look up a value in the first column of a range and return a value from a column to the right of it. If the column you want to return is to the left of your lookup column, VLOOKUP fails completely. Index match has no such restriction. The return range and the lookup range are specified independently, so they can be in any order, any column, anywhere in your worksheet. The second advantage is flexibility and dynamic behavior. With VLOOKUP, you specify the return column by its number, for example, the third column. If someone inserts or deletes a column in your data, that number becomes wrong and your VLOOKUP breaks silently, returning incorrect data. With index match, you reference the actual column range directly, so it automatically adjusts when columns are added or removed, making your formulas far more robust and maintainable. The third advantage is faster performance on large datasets. VLOOKUP must scan an entire table array every time it runs. Index match, on the other hand, only scans the specific lookup column and return column, making it more efficient and noticeably faster when working with spreadsheets that contain tens of thousands of rows. The key takeaway from this slide is this: while VLOOKUP is simpler to write and perfectly adequate for basic lookups, index match is the professional's choice. It is more powerful, more flexible, more robust to structural changes in your data, and more performant on large datasets. Whenever you need a left side lookup or whenever your data structure might change, index match is the superior tool. Now let's move on to our second question. What is data validation in Excel? This is a topic that is asked not just in Excel interviews but also in broader data analyst interviews, because data quality and data accuracy are critical concerns in any analytics role. Data validation is one of Excel's most practical and underutilized features, and understanding it clearly demonstrates that you think carefully about data integrity, not just analysis. Data validation is a built-in Excel feature that allows you to control and restrict what type of data users can enter into specific cells. Instead of leaving a cell completely open to any input, which can lead to typos, inconsistencies, and errors, data validation lets you define strict rules about what is and is not acceptable input for a cell. If a user tries to enter something that violates the validation rule, Excel can display a warning message, block the entry entirely, or prompt the user to correct their input. The fundamental purpose of data validation is to ensure that the data being entered into your spreadsheet is clean, consistent, and trustworthy from the very moment it is typed in. Let's look at the three most common and practical examples of how data validation is used in real-world Excel workbooks. The first example is drop-down list. You can configure a cell so that instead of allowing free text input, it displays a drop-down menu with a predefined list of acceptable options. For instance, in a sales report, you might restrict a region column to only allow the options north, south, east, and west. This ensures that every entry is spelled correctly and consistently. No more variations like northern, north, or accidental typos that would cause your pivot tables and formulas to break. Drop-down lists are extremely popular in shared workbooks and data entry forms. The second example is number range restrictions. You can set a validation rule that only allows numerical values within a specific range to be entered in a cell. For example, you might restrict an age column to only accept whole numbers between 18 and 65, or restrict a discount percentage column to only accept values between 0 and 100. If someone tries to type a value outside this range, say an age of 200 or a discount of 150%, Excel will immediately flag the entry as invalid and prevent it from being saved. This type of validation is especially useful in financial models and HR databases where out of range values can cause serious errors downstream. The third example is date validation rules. You can configure cells to only accept valid date values, and you can further restrict those dates to fall within a specific date range. For example, in a project tracking sheet, you might require that all deadline dates entered must be after today's date, or that start dates must fall within the current financial year. This prevents users from accidentally entering impossible dates or dates that are outside the valid scope of the project. Now let's talk about the benefits of using data validation, because this is what interviewers really want to hear. The first benefit is that it significantly improves data accuracy. By restricting input at the point of entry, You catch errors before they enter the system rather than discovering them later during analysis when the damage has already been done. The second benefit is that it reduces manual entry errors. Human beings make mistakes when typing freely. They misspell words, enter wrong formats, and make accidental keystrokes. Data validation acts as an automatic safety net that catches these mistakes in real time. The third benefit is that it standardizes input across teams. When multiple people are contributing to the same spreadsheet, data validation ensures that everyone follows the same format and uses the same values, creating consistency that makes the data reliable and easy to analyze with pivot tables, formulas, and charts. The key takeaway from this slide is this: data validation is not just a convenience feature, it is a data quality tool. In any professional setting where data accuracy matters, which is every setting, applying data validation to your Excel workbooks is a best practice that saves enormous time and prevents costly errors. It is a small investment at the data entry stage that pays huge dividends in data reliability and analytical accuracy downstream. Knowing how to implement and explain data validation is a clear indicator to interviewers that you understand and care about data quality, one of the most valued qualities in any data professional. Thank you.